Now, if my Muslim friends were here, and I invited some, I invited Hassan Shibli, who used to be a friend of mine until he went over to CARE, which is a terrorist organization. And I tell all my former Muslim friends, if you go to CARE, you become an enemy of the state and an enemy of Tom Trento, an ideological enemy. It's that simple. Hassan Shibli, I understand, was working his little scam with the city of Venice. They do this all the time all over the country. When one of us speaks someplace, they go in, play the victim card, and try to get the administration in a particular municipality ultimately to do sensitivity training. CARE is a terrorist organization. They are Hamas. I'm going to establish evidence tonight to show that and prove that point. Right now, these are the 6 main Muslim Brotherhood operatives that advise President Obama on a daily basis. These are vile individuals that are anti-American. They have been placed in these high levels by this administration. I mean, these guys are deeply involved. But I want to draw attention for today. We can do briefs on each one of these, extensive briefs. I want to look at Imam Mohammed Majid, second from the right. We're going to look at him a little bit today. And became the imam in Dulles, the all-area Dulles network. Got involved with Dar al-Hijra, the mosque in Falls Church, which Anwar al-Awlaki was in. It's called the Jihad Mosque because it had a lot of jihadis. Anwar al-Awlaki was the American imam who was doing prayer services at the Capitol as he was managing the 9/11 terrorists at the same time. And Anwar al-Awlaki finally took off, and a drone got him a few years ago out in Yemen. But Mohammed Majid is a Muslim brother, hardcore, cultural jihadi, and he is deeply involved in this administration. These are 2 Republicans, and we call these guys out all over the place. Grover Norquist, who's a hero on tax reform for the Republican Party. He is a devious, diabolical Muslim Brotherhood operator in the United States of America, and we say that everywhere we go, and we challenge him, and he has hurt this country tremendously by bringing people like Al-Amoudi and others into government, placed as agents of influence. And Suhail Khan is his right-hand man that we have busted open in different meetings and videotaped him saying stuff that he regretted saying. But the umbrella organization for the various 400, 500, 600 Muslim Brotherhood entities in the United States. It started back in 1963, that organization, and it's headed by, I'm going to show you in a second, none other than President Obama's #1 Muslim advisor, Imam Mohammed Majid. He runs a terrorist organization. That organization has contributed zero to the United States of America. It is a cultural terrorist organization. It is a kinetic terrorist organization. Many real-life terrorists have grew up in that and are in this. He put up $21 million. His name is Yosef Nada. Nice guy, except he's the financier for the Muslim Brotherhood worldwide. He has been indicted by the United States as being a terrorist, and he's still fighting some of that. In 2001, there was a raid on his offices, and a document was found called The Project. Now understand, he's the financier for the Muslim Brotherhood. Project was written in 1982. The document, though, it doesn't contain the words Muslim Brotherhood. It is the outline for the plan for Muslims to infiltrate and defeat the West and the United States. This was in the document found in Nada's house. Nada's the financier of ISNA. ISNA's headed up by President Obama's right-hand man, Imam Mohammed Majid. Evidence that ISNA and the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE are terrorists. That's where this information came out. Infiltrating and taking over existing Muslim organizations and realigning them towards the Brotherhood's collective goals. Using deception to mask the intended goals of Islamist actions involving ideological committed Muslims in democratically elected institutions on all levels in the West, including government, NGOs, This is an influence operation. I work with a lot of former CIA people. This is what they do in other countries. This is what's happening here by the Muslim Brotherhood. This is called subversion, and it's a violation of federal law to do this stuff. Inflaming violence and keeping Muslims living in the West in a jihad frame of mind. Supporting jihad movements across the... How the hell is this jihad word being used? You are dummies. Dummies. If anybody tells you jihad means anything other than a religious war to kill other people, these are the leaders articulating a militaristic doctrine. Supporting jihad movements across the Muslim world through preaching, propaganda, personnel funding, technical and operational support. Making the Palestinian cause a global wedge issue. Dopey leftists buy into this. They want that sort of fester. So the 15, 18, 19, 20-year-old frustrated Islamic kids, men, can fight and kill as directed by Osama bin Laden, Anwar al-Awlaki, and the others. Adopting the total liberation of Palestine from Israel and the creation of an Islamic State as a keystone in the plan for global Islamic domination. Instigating a constant campaign to incite hatred by Muslims against Jews. It's in their DNA. And rejecting any discussions of conciliation or coexistence with them. Their doctrine does not allow it. Actively creating jihad terror cells in Palestine. Linking the terrorist activities in Palestine with the global terror movement. Collecting sufficient funds to indefinitely perpetuate and support jihad around the world. This is evidence in a trial. There's 2,200 mosques in America. There were only 1,000 when 9/11 hit. The Saudis had a building campaign, built another 1,200 since 9/11. 85% of those are funded by the Saudis. 85% are practicing by doctrine subversion in their mosques. Factually, we have the evidence. Hamas, their charter says that they're one of the wings of the Muslim Brotherhood, and they will exist until they obliterate Israel. Back to the Muslim Brothers. How are we in this situation? These guys have the ear of the president. This is Imam Mohammed Majid. That's the president with Imam Mohammed Majid. That's the president with Mohammed Majid and some other friends at one of the events. That's the president with who? Umar Abedin. Muslim Brotherhood Memorandum was written in 1991, discovered in 2004. Another raid on a Muslim's house in Virginia. A cop is at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, a big bridge. You don't have to be too sharp to notice this, but there's two people at the base of the bridge. A woman is in complete niqab, and they're taking pictures of the structure of the bridge. The state trooper goes, I don't know about this. So he goes to have a little talk with them. Turns out that al-Barasi, Mohammed al-Barasi is his name. There's a warrant for him out of Chicago, so they pull him in, and the FBI says, we want to take a look at this guy. They go into his house in Annandale, Virginia, 2004, not too long ago. And they go in his basement, start knocking around. FBI's tricky. They find a sub-basement in Annandale, Virginia, 2004. Go into sub-basement. Over 10,000 documents. The archives of the Muslim Brotherhood in the United States of America found 2004 in Annandale, Virginia. They became the basis for this suit against all these Muslim groups like CAIR, which are terrorist organizations. I'll show you that. The FBI and the law enforcement agencies submitted a small portion of these documents. There's tons of them. This administration is letting them ice. They don't want to do anything with them because the advisors to the president on all things Muslim, President Obama, if you want to have good relations with Muslims, we can't be prosecuting Muslims. It's not going to work. Now listen what was found in the Muslim Brotherhood 18-page document. The project was 12 pages. I showed you 2 pages of 12. I'm showing you 1 paragraph of 18. The exact detailed plans for taking over the United States of America are in both documents. If you read that, you go, wow, these people are serious. And one was written in 82, one was written in 91. And you go, they've been doing this for 30 years. The process of settlement is a civilization jihadist process with all the word means. The Ikhwan, the Muslim Brotherhood, must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating peacefully and destroying peacefully the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands, your hands, and the hands of the believers, so that it is eliminated and God's religion, Islam, is made victorious over all religions. This is the unindicted co-conspirators, a list of the unindicted co-conspirators, the handful that came out of the Holy Land Foundation trial, where 5 were found guilty, 5 people. 5 of them were locked up. They're doing for 15 to 60 years. Then there's just a few more names. 330 people and organizations, unindicted co-conspirators not really being watched by this administration. And one of the organizations is the Islamic Society of North America, ISNA, that is run by him. Remember where he lives? In the White House? He heads an organization that is viewed as a connection to terrorism, funding Hamas to kill Jews. He's the head of it. In what sane world should he not be in jail, or certainly not hold the position of counselor to the President of the United States? On its face, on the facts. This guy, I invited my friend Hassan Shibli here tonight. Hassan, you here? He heads up CARE for the state of Florida. He was just awarded Chapter of the Year by Nihad Awad, a cultural terrorist, a terrorist supporter. He heads up CARE National. So Florida is the best CARE chapter in the country. Give yourselves a hand. Hassan, lovely guy, lawyer, all of that, very sweet, very deferential, very smart. He is a terrorist. He supports terrorism. He says he doesn't, all of that. But his organization does. He's connected with his organization. He heads his organization. He lives and breathes with these people. He cannot exonerate himself from the dirt that's all around him by putting on a nice hat and talking very sweetly. So he's a dangerous individual for the state of Florida. And a federal judge, because CARE tried to get their name removed from this unindicted co-conspirator status. They went to court. They spent a lot of money. And the judge said, no way. You are Hamas. The best way to understand CARE today, Council on American Islamic Relations, CARE is Hamas.